Here's a story from Grandpa for my 3 favorite little girls, Emma, Ayla, and Audrey. It's been a while since we've done something from the Grumpy Monkey series. We've done Grumpy Monkey Up All Night, and Grumpy Monkey Freshly Squeezed. All of these books are illustrated in a graphic novel style, kind of like comic books, which is interesting. Here's today's story, Grumpy Monkey Who Threw That? Written by Suzanne Lang and illustrated by Max Lang. A peel drops. Watch this banana disappear. Abracadabra, hocus pocus. Hokey pokey, I love the hokey pokey. What? No, everybody, you put your beak in. You put your nose, snout, beak out. I'm trying to do magic here. Ugh! You do the hokey pokey. Back at Jim's branch, that oxpecker makes me so mad. She's such a nincompoop. Who pooped? No poop, nincompoop, oxpecker. Have a fig and forget about it. I do love figs. That night, Jim is sleeping up in a tree when he hears, "Giggle, giggle, you're the cutest. No, you are. No, you are. No, you are. Your feathers are so feathery. Tee, no, you're feathery." Splat! A banana peel comes down and hits Oxpecker on the head. The next day, Oxpecker is saying, "And then a banana peel landed right on me." No, you poor thing. I could hardly breathe. Who would do such a thing, throwing a peel on my lady love? Chimpanzee, that's who. Gasp, terrible. I was going to say Jim. Did somebody say my name? Stay away from me. Okay, today's off to a pretty good start. Stop him! Apologize to Oxpecker for throwing that banana peel at her. But I didn't do it. Yes, you did. Whoa, you can't accuse Jim without proof. Water Buffalo, you were there. Did you see what happened? I didn't see anything. I was in my happy place. Here's Water Buffalo's happy place, apparently being upside down in the mud. A happy place is something you imagine that makes you happy. It can be helpful to go to the happy place in your imagination when you feel stressed, upset, or in Water Buffalo's case, totally grossed out. So no one saw anything? Jim says he didn't do it. That's good enough for me. Want to get some mangoes, Jimmy P? Please. I heard Jim call Oxpecker a nincompoop. I don't believe this. I don't want to live in the kind of place where animals think it's okay to throw things at each other. Jim should be banished from the jungle. Yeah, that'll teach him. Yes, yeah. What's banished? Banished as in kicked out. But I didn't throw anything, says you. Whoa, everyone, just cool down. You know what? I'll be happy to go. Not because I threw that peel, which I didn't, but because you're all driving me crazy. Wait up, buddy. And another thing, I think you're all nincompoops. They leave the jungle in a huff. Now we take a break from the story for Pam Pansy's Primate Primer. I'm Jim's mom. Today we're learning all about chimpanzees. Chimpanzees are one of the great apes. The other great apes are bonobos, orangutans, gorillas. Chimpanzees' arms are longer than their legs. Chimpanzees have opposable thumbs like humans. Unlike humans, chimpanzees also have opposable big toes, which means they can pick things up with their feet. Chimp is a nickname for chimpanzee. Chimp, Mom, not monkey. But Grumpy Monkey sounds better than Grumpy Chimp. which is why you'll always be my little grumpy monkey. Now back to the story. Just desert. The desert. So quiet, so peaceful. Hey! Take one more step and I'll sting you. My bad, didn't see you there. If you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. That's the way things work around here. This is my kind of place. Rumble. How about finding some food? Hmm. What about those pink fruits? Pointing to a cactus. Yummy. And he reaches out to grab one, and he grabs one. Ouch! Too sharp. You should have left it alone. Fine, I'm just gonna sit here and nurse my wounds. Not gonna bother anyone. Ah, so relaxing. I could really get used to this. Norman? My butt! It burns! Fire ants, you shouldn't have sat on their hole. You could have told him not to sit there. I was minding my own business. Glad you two are talking it out, but ants are biting my butt. Jim looks around, finds a stick, picks it up, and starts whacking Norman on the butt to get rid of the ants. Little Scorpion says, I see you have this under control. A little later, as they're walking through the desert, Jim is still holding the stick that's covered with ants, and he starts to eat them. And he says, Sure you don't want any? And Norman says, No bud ants for me, thanks, but some water would be nice. We have to dig. There should be water under the sand. He eats a few more ants off the stick. At least I think I heard that. So he and Norman begin to dig in the sand. Water? No, Norman says with a scorpion pinching him on the nose. That night, why is it so hot in the day and so cold at night? Little Scorpion says, in the daytime, the sand reflects the heat from the sun, which in turn superheats the air and causes temperatures to get very hot. At night, most of the heat in the sand quickly disperses into the air, and with no sunlight to reheat it, the sand and its surroundings become much colder than before. Duh. Norman and Jim just look at the scorpion, who turns and walks away. The next day, they're still walking across the hot, sandy desert. Norman, are you okay? I'm not feeling the desert. It's too prickly. And I gotta admit, the lack of bananas is a distinct problem. But what about the quiet? Yeah, the quiet's good, but I'd trade it for some shade. I'm baking. Bummer that we can't go back to the jungle, not after everyone accused you of throwing that banana peel. Jim looks to the left and looks to the right, and then he says, I threw it. Come again? Oxpecker's so annoying. No doubt, but you can't throw things at others, Jim, and you can't lie. And now we're in the desert and you're miserable. We're going back to the jungle. I have to apologize to Oxpecker. This is going to be so annoying. Here we have another little break in the story from Papa Pansy, named Chip, where he gives us a recipe and shows us how to make some snacks out of oats and chocolate chips and raisins and chocolate drops and peanut butter and honey and nuts. Looks pretty good, but I won't read the whole thing to you. If you're interested, have your mom and dad take a look at it and see if you can make it at home. At the end of the recipe, it says, refrigerate for 2 hours and enjoy. Jim says, 2 hours? I don't want to wait 2 hours. And Papa Chip says, don't worry, Jimmy, it gives us time to clean up. Time flies when you're having fun. As Jim cleans the bowl, he's thinking, my dad's got a really weird idea of fun. Now for today's chat. If you could be a different animal for one day, what would you be? A dog. No, a tiny turtle. No, a parakeet. A dolphin. A skunk. Nothing. It's too great being me. A T-Rex. What? Back to the story. A bunch of nincompoops. Where'd everyone go? Who cares? This is perfect. You get the jungle and I get peace and quiet. And I don't even have to apologize. I guess. What's the matter? The jungle's not the jungle without the other animals. Okay, let's go find them. But this time we'll be prepared. Back in the desert, Jim and Norman are walking across the desert, but they have big leaf hats on their heads. Look, bear tracks, they see down in the sand. Let's follow them. Ah, a sandstorm. The wind blew the tracks away. Figures. Tough break. Snake! What happened? Why did everyone leave the jungle? One by one, we were all kicked out until there was no one left. Your banana peel incident was just the beginning. What did they kick you out for? Eavesdropping? Well, we're going to get everyone back. Let's go. They come to a tree with a bunch of monkeys up in it. Monkeys, what did you do? We were throwing poop at each other. Jim says, so? All primates do that. It's not a big deal. There's a little note here that says, Jim's wrong. Humans are primates and we don't throw poop. But if monkeys want to do it, that's their own monkey business. That's what we said. Jim and Norman keep walking along and they come across to the rhinoceros. I did a massive fart. I thought it was going to be loud but not stinky. Turns out it was loud and stinky. The group of animals continue walking along across the desert with the rhino in the lead. Jim says, wait, sorry rhino, you have to walk in the back. Better safe than sorry. Guess he was concerned about maybe another massive fart. Then they come to a hyena who says, I ate old meat that wasn't mine. And then a javelina says, change meat to papaya, and that's what I did. Then they came across Bear who said, I got everything sticky. Then they came across Peacock who said, I got everything feathery. And then they came across Frog who said, I got everything muddy. The giraffe says, shouting. The elephant says, stomping. And the other little animal says, dancing like no one was watching. They come across a bunch of birds up on a branch, and one of them says, being a copycat. Me too, me too, me too, me too. I guess all the birds were copycats. And then they come across the water buffalo who says, daydreaming. And then it was just Oxpecker and her boyfriend left. And Oxpecker says, you mean ex-boyfriend. According to him, I was being a nincompoop, so he kicked me out. But before I left, I kicked him out because I say he is the nincompoop. No, you are. No, you are. Back in the jungle again. Jim says to all the animals, I'm sorry I threw that banana peel at you, Oxpecker. Oxpecker says, and don't forget you also lied about it. And Jim says, I'm sorry for lying about it. And Oxpecker says, don't you think it was the sort of thing a nincompoop would do? And Jim says, yes, I was being a total nincompoop, okay? Norman says, no biggie, Jim. We're all nincompoops sometimes. We just have to learn to live with each other. I'm a nincompoop. You're a nincompoop. Norman says, we're all nincompoops. Wouldn't you like to be a nincompoop too? So that's the end of the story, but we have a bonus, a poem about sand by Norman. What's all this under my feet? Wish it was a sandwich to eat. But it's just sand with no witch. Gets everywhere, makes me itch. Desert sand, you drive me nuts. How did you get in my butt? And the little scorpion says, beautiful. And that's the end of the story. Chimpanzee caused a lot of trouble by doing something bad and then lying about it. That's often the case in life. You do something bad, and if you lie about it, the situation becomes much, much worse. It's always better just to own up to anything bad you've done and then take the little bit of pain that comes from it. If you lie, there will likely be a lot more pain involved. Always remember that Grandpa loves you, even when you're a nincompoop, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.